Fellow Immortals, Oz here. And hey, if there are any mortals out there watching, you're welcome too. We're not mortalists on planetOZ. I mean, that would be discriminatory. But in the event you might not know which you are, in this film we're going to be discussing the state of being mortal, the state of being immortal, and the state of immortality, which may be different. And if it turns out that we are all mortals, we've only got limited time, so let's get started. What follows is a metaphysical, spiritual concept to place at the feet of your wisdom for your consideration. Which state do you exist in? Mortal? Immortal? Immortality? Let's first look at mortality. What is the state of being mortal? This would be defined simply as the state of identifying with your ego. You are your body that you walk around in every day. And when that's gone, you're gone. You've only got one life to live, as the saying tells us. So after that, you blink out, evaporate, eviscerate, disintegrate. You become dust, and we are left with only your memory. If this is you, you may want to stop watching this film right now and get busy. You're running out of time. But if there is any chance you might be immortal, let's continue. The state of being immortal that we're talking about in this film comes from the idea of reincarnation. And in this model, we are actually all immortal. We are beings of light that take form in material bodies. And with each incarnation, we grow and evolve. And as we evolve, we're able to assume more complex forms. The human form is very complex. So presumably, it's taken us many incarnations of many simpler forms in order to get here. But however long it takes to evolve doesn't really matter. We're immortal, after all. Each in his own time, as the saying goes. But if all of this is true, why don't we remember it? I mean, I don't remember being a tarantula. Do you? This reincarnative model presumes that we are born behind a veil of forgetfulness. This veil idea could be 100 planetOZ films in its own right. So, for simplicity's sake, let's just say that if you were to incarnate with all of your memories and a full knowledge of how the system works, it would be kind of like if you were studying to be an architect and you were handed a test with all of the answers already written in. If you're not really being tested, why bother? Here one might fairly ask, then what's the point of being immortal at all? I mean, if we're always going to incarnate without our memories, won't it always feel like we're mortal regardless? Well, that brings us to the state of immortality. It may initially sound indistinguishable from the state of being immortal, but according to this idea, there is an important distinction to be made between them. If handing you a test with the answers already filled in sounded pointless, what about giving you a test that should take 2 hours and you finish it in 2 minutes? Doesn't that kind of seem like a waste of time also? It might indicate that you've mastered the material to such an extent that your proper place is really no longer in testing yourself. It might be time to take all that you have learned and go out into the world and use it. You become the architect. As it applies to our discussion here, it suggests that at a certain point in your individual evolution, the veil is no longer needed. It's no longer serving you. You've graduated, so to speak. And from here, you'll continue your journey, you'll continue learning and evolving, but you are able to do so with all of the memories of all of your incarnations intact, and with a fuller knowledge of who you really are. You aren't just immortal anymore, you've reached the state of immortality. So that's that. The state of being mortal, the state of being immortal, and the state of immortality. We're going to bring this one to a close. So from your immortal family and planetOZ, just remember, you've only got forever. Make it count. Oh wait, I do remember.